Hey guys, it's Di from Being Mommy with Style, and I wanted to do a quick magical vacation recap. Now that we have been back home for about a week and a half, I wanted to do it before it got too far away from it and I started forgetting details. But I have just finished up editing all the vlogs. You guys are actually still watching the vlogs at the time that I made this video, and there were like 2 weeks of Disney vlogs because I took that much footage. And I tried to edit them down into watchable lengths so that each video was like its own separate event and that sort of thing. So that way if people just wanted to see Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, they could do that and that sort of thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the Disney videos, but by the time I post this, they will be done. So I'll put the playlist link down below in case you are finding my channel for the first time and that sort of thing. But just as a spoiler, we had a very magical time. We had a great vacation, and it was, I said in like my recap of our November trip, I was hoping for like a redemption from that trip, and it really did end up being like kind of a comeback trip. So we had a really great time, and some of the things that I did to kind of make this trip better that I learned about on our November trip were I did fewer ADRs, fewer dining reservations, and I was a little bit more flexible with the scheduling, so I tried to push all of our fast passes and everything as late as I could while still fitting in everything, and that worked out well because while staying off property, you know, by the time it takes to load everyone up and get in the car and drive over there and park and tram, and it really takes quite a bit to get inside the parks. So I tried to take that into account this time. That seemed to really work. So if you didn't catch the videos yet, we started out the trip flying down on our first day and then going to Disney Springs that night. We really like doing that. That always seems to work out great. And we had a really great time kind of exploring and that sort of thing. And just as a spoiler, I'll do a separate video on souvenirs and what we bought, but we didn't actually really buy anything while we were there. I just ordered things from the Disney Parks app after we got home and had them shipped to my house. So that's probably not typical, but that's what we did and it worked. So I'll share all that, and the girls were really into pen trading, so you probably saw that in the videos, and I'll kind of share that in a separate video. So the girls wore their pen lanyards. I don't know if we did any trading on the first night, but we had a great time exploring Disney Springs, and that was our first night. Then the second day, we had Chef Mickey's to kind of get a little bit of Disney in our day, and then we went to the beach, and that was a really, really fun day. I'm glad that we kind of started off the trip that way because it was kind of a nice, relaxing day. The reason we did that is because my mother-in-law has an annual pass, and the way her pass works, it was a blackout day that day. So I kind of switched our park days around, and we did the beach day that day, which weather-wise worked out perfectly, because we had Chef Mickey's and the beach on a really gorgeous, beautiful day where it was nice and we had a great day at the beach. And then the next day we went to Animal Kingdom and it rained all day long, which actually worked out okay. If you're gonna be at a park and it's gonna rain, obviously there's a lot to do indoors at Magic Kingdom. There's a lot of indoor rides and that sort of thing. But Animal Kingdom was really kind of cool because it was just a steady rain most of the day. There were a couple like downpour points, but it was pretty just like a steady, light jungle rain, I guess you could say, throughout the day. And it kind of was cool because it went with the ambiance of Animal Kingdom. So that kind of added to that day. We had ponchos, we had the rain cover for the stroller, and we just went for it. So we had a lot of fun that day. In fact, so much fun that the girls did Kali River Rapids for the first time. We did Tusker House again, which was great. We went out to Rafiki's Planet Watch for the first time. That was a big thing that we did on this trip, was a lot of firsts. So things that we've done for the first time, and that seemed to really work out well for us because it just, we did some of our favorites, but it was like a whole new trip because we did so many things we'd never done before. So we enjoyed those things that we hadn't seen before. And then both the kids were old enough, or not old enough, but tall enough to ride Kali River Rapids this time. Even Natalie, they had like a special little lap bar that pulled down, and she was like holding on to it like this. They give them a little special like wristband if they're 38 inches, I think between 38 and 40 or something like that. And they have a special lap bar for him, and she had a ball. I did not film that because I was just scared that my camera, even my backup camera, would just get drenched and ruined. So I didn't film that one. But it was really cute because Natalie was just like hanging on and squealing and had a great time. So both the kids liked that one. We didn't end up getting soaked, but of course there seems to always be one seat in the little circle car thing that does. So some poor guy on our boat did get soaked, but it wasn't us then. And then we finished off the trip meeting on that day, meeting Pocahontas and then Expedition Everest. So Bella did ride Expedition Everest and she loved it. and we got off and we were gonna go on it again, and we were having so much fun. We didn't realize the theme park had closed. So we went to go walk over and get on it again, and the doors were closed. And I'm like, what time is it? Did they close? And literally the theme park had closed. And just the time that it took to ride the ride and then get back down and off of it. So it's a really good thing we went when we did. But the theme park had closed, so then it was time to go. So it's one of those time flies when you're having fun, and we had a great day at Animal Kingdom. So much so that I actually wrote Disney and I kind of commended them on our Tusker House experience, because that dining reservation has been stellar. We've done it 3 trips, the past 3 trips, and it's been fantastic every single time. Great service, the food has been great, it's always great tasting and seems fresh and that sort of thing. And then the characters of that one just knock it out of the park. And I think you could really see it come through on the video, like how enthusiastic the characters were, even though it was like the end of lunchtime, you know, and I'm sure towards like the end of the day, because the characters are not there for dinner. So that's kind of like the end of the character time period. But they were super enthusiastic and just so animated with the kids, and the girls are still talking about that one. So that was awesome. So then that was Animal Kingdom Day, which was a really great day and a great way to start out the trip. Then we headed to Magic Kingdom for our big Princess Day at Magic Kingdom. And luckily the whole rest of the trip was sunny and the weather was nice. It was hot, but not as hot as November, thank goodness. It was like in the 80s probably. But what ended up happening while we were there was the crowd predictions, you know, on all those crowd predictor sites or whatever, were saying, oh, there's probably gonna be like a crowd level of 5 or 6, but Easter will be over, most people will go home, and they ended up being totally wrong. For the whole week that we were there, there was just a ton of people. A lot of people stayed over. I think a new crop of people came in, and it was packed. It was packed. It was busy. Even Disney underestimated how many people were going to be there, even knowing, you know, how many fast passes they'd given out and that sort of thing. And it was packed. It ended up being a crowd level of 9 or 10 all the rest of the days after Animal Kingdom Day. And I think Animal Kingdom would have been more busy had it not been raining, because obviously that clears out the parks. Sometimes people stay at their resorts and that sort of thing if it's raining. So it was very busy. It was very busy. But we had a lot of fun. The thing I keep replying to people and saying, like when they're asking about the crowd levels, like how crowded did it feel? Did it feel crowded? Yes. It definitely felt crowded. There was a lot of people there. But you know what? It was pretty pleasant to be that crowded. The spring break crowd, and you know, and this is a generalization, so it's definitely not every single person, and obviously we're people that have gone in the spring and the fall, but the spring break crowd just felt kind of like laid back and go with the flow, and they had no problem waiting. I didn't hear anyone complaining. I mean, I think that's because when you go at spring break, you pretty much know it's probably going to be crowded to some extent. So even when I was walking past Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and there was a 2-hour wait, I didn't hear like people sitting around grumping outside the line that it was a 2-hour wait, which, you know, there might have been, but I just didn't see it or hear it. But then in the fall, it seems like when it gets crowded in the fall, people get a lot more grumpy about it, because it used to be such a lower visiting time or lower crowd level time, and now it is quite crowded in the fall and people get a little bit more grumpy about it. But anyways, so it was crowded, but we still got a lot done. So when we went into Magic Kingdom, we had fast passes for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which Bella could ride and Natalie could not. And I had a couple of people ask, both the grandparents were with us that day, so people were like, where did Natalie go? So my mother-in-law was along for the whole trip, which is super fun because she likes going on a lot of the rides with the girls, but some of the faster ones she is perfectly happy to volunteer and kind of hang out with Natalie, and they go off and have fun. So that happened a couple times on the trip where they just went to go hang out and go do some stuff, and we took Bella on the bigger rides. And my dad was with us that day as well, and he typically doesn't ride a lot of the rides anyhow, but he was just hanging out and taking pictures, and he wanted to see the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. So we went over to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and then we got to meet up with Jessica from AS3RD23 again. The girls got to meet up with her girls, Zoe and Annabella, and meet up and have a Dole Whip, which was super, super cute. So they got to hang out, and then we had to go to our Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reservations, and they had reservations somewhere else, so we split up for a little bit, and the girls went and got their hair done and got all princessed up. I have a vlog specifically from all these different parts, so I'll link the playlist down below if you haven't seen these. But it was really cute, and it was cute to see them have it done next to each other, sitting next to each other, and I think that was a really great experience for the girls. So I don't know that we'll do it every single trip, or not even like every single year, but it was really cute to see them do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique together. It was definitely worth doing this time. So that was cute now that they could both do it. And then after that, we went over to Castle Couture and had their pictures taken, and we got those as a part of our memory maker, and they turned out really, really cute. So I have some of those on Instagram, I believe, too. So after we got done with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the pictures, we had a fast pass for Peter Pan's flight, so we went to that, and we also watched Philharmagic, and then we met up with Jessica and her family again to kind of tell them bye and say see you later, because they'd had their reservation and they were going to head out because it was so busy. So we met up with them, and then we had our dinner reservation at Cinderella's Royal Table, and we ate dinner. That's always a great one for us. The princesses, being inside the castle, it's just kind of a magical time when you go in there. So again, a really good reservation for us. So after that, we split up for a little while and we went and rode rides. Natalie went to go see Anna and Elsa, and we didn't have a fast pass for that. So she went and waited in line for my husband to see them. And then Bella wanted to go ride rides, so I took Bella to go ride rides. And we were gonna ride Splash Mountain, but it was actually shut down at the time we went over there. So we rode the train around, and I didn't get this on camera because I'm not really super into like filming, well, especially if I don't know them. I'm not going to film someone else's kids. But even if I know them really well, I pretty much don't film, anyone but our core family, just because I feel like there's, so much consent that goes into it, and they may not totally understand like what YouTube is. But anyways, it was the cutest thing ever. When we went to go get on the train, there was this little girl that got on that was 5 years old, the same age as Bella, and like she and Bella just like hit it off. Like they were just giggling and telling jokes, and they were like, we're best friends, and they wanted to sit with each other, and they literally had just met each other like 5 minutes beforehand. It was the cutest thing ever. So we ended up riding the train around longer so that way that they could hang out, and we eventually ended up telling them bye. And I don't even know where the little girl lived, but it was the cutest thing ever in this little moment of time where it was just like Disney magic, where they met and they were friends, they were best friends, and then we went off to do our own things. So Bella and I rode a couple rides, and I think we stopped for a drink at one point. And then we met up with my husband and mother-in-law and Natalie, and we rode Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So this was the first time Natalie could ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and she was super excited about it, and we had our fast passes for it, so we made it through the line fairly quickly. I think the lady figured out that it was Natalie's first time riding it, so she put the girls in the very front car, and she was like, you guys sit together. And I was like, can they do that? Can they sit there without an adult? And she's like, yeah, it's totally fine. And so the girls got to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right in the front with my husband and myself right behind them, and then my mother-in-law was behind me. But it was the cutest thing ever. They just had a ball. If you look at the picture, Natalie's just like super excited the whole time. And if you look very closely, Bella had her hand on the bar of Natalie's seat the whole time. She was watching out for her sisters. So super, super cute. So it was a great night. We saw the fireworks that night. The kids ended up falling asleep in the stroller, and just a really, really fun time. We stayed later that night. Then the next day was Epcot. We got up and we were going a little bit slowly that day. We had fast passes for Spaceship Earth, which we ended up missing, but that's okay. We ended up getting in the standby line, and we waited for that. I always enjoy that one just because it's got, a lot of different scenery and the history in it and that sort of thing. So the kids enjoyed that, and we played in the play area that's over there afterwards a little bit as well. Then we had to head over to our Acrehouse dining reservations. We had lunch there, and that was really fun. The girls enjoyed seeing princesses there. The food's always really good there. I ordered the Finscuppy something, which was good, but I won't order it again just because of my personal taste preference. Anytime I have a cream sauce, I gotta have like a ton of garlic in there, like more Italian type flavoring, and it did not have an inch of garlic in it. They don't use garlic in Norway, I don't think. So it just wasn't to my preference. it was kind of like more of a cream sauce type of thing, which I'm really particular about cream sauces. So anyhow, I've gotten the chicken sandwich there for lunch before, and I really like that. But the kids had a great time. They enjoyed seeing the princesses, and the princess dance there is cute. And then we got to walk around for the Flower and Garden Festival and see all of the flowers and the topiaries. It's just a really cute time of year to go. So we enjoyed walking around the World Showcase, and then we went back over to the other side and did some things over there. And for dinner, we had dinner in England. We had fish and chips, and we kind of went back into the World Showcase, and we got macarons again. So I had macaron and champagne for dinner, which you know it's gonna be a good day when you have that for dinner. And then we stayed and watched the fireworks, and it was another great day. So again, I think it really helped that the heat wasn't super hot, and it was just a more pleasant trip this time all around. It helped that our schedule was a bit more flexible, and we took it, you know, pretty easy, so it just went a lot better this time around for sure. Also helped that not everyone got sick on this trip, so it's just a lot better combination of things for sure. Then on the last day of the trip, we went back to Magic Kingdom. It was kind of a day I left flexible, but we went back to Magic Kingdom, and again, it was another packed day. Like, we literally waited for the tram, like 3 trams went around before we finally ended up on one. It was packed. When we pulled into the parking lot at like at 11 a.m., we were like almost darn near in the last row of parking. I was like, I don't know where they're gonna put everyone because we might not all fit. It was packed. So it was definitely a 10 that day. I don't think it filled the capacity, but it had to have been close. It was very, very busy that day. But we still had a lot of fun. So it was hot, but we just stopped a lot for snacks. And when we went in that day, we kind of focused more on trying things that we hadn't done before and riding rides. And that was kind of really more our focus this trip. Sorry, this update is taking forever. I've officially had to restart my camera like 3 times now. So I know that it's gonna be a long video. But anyhow, I'll try to get through this last part. So the very first thing that we did was we rode the Haunted Mansion with both the girls. They both rode it and they both enjoyed it. So we really did try new things. So we rode some more rides that day. We rode the train all the way around the outside, and we ate dinner at Columbia Harbor House that day. And Bella also finished off the night riding Splash Mountain for the very first time, and that was a fun ride as well. So Bella was definitely more into the big rides this time, which was really cute to see. And Natalie, if she would have been tall enough, would have rode them. She just doesn't have the height yet. So all in all, this trip went a lot better. I think obviously by the fact that I just talked 30 minutes about it, you can tell that it was a lot better trip this time around. And a couple of the things that we did as far as adjusting the dining and just sticking with our favorites and going with the flow more, pushing our fast pass times back really helped this time around. So what does that mean for next time? Is there going to be a next time? When is the next time going to be? So just as a spoiler alert, there is going to be a next time. I'm sure you could have never guessed that. But the funny thing is that my husband had a really enjoyable time this trip. And something that we had talked about previously was staying on property. And just because of the timing and the way that it worked out, and obviously all the tax issues I had right before this, we felt like it was probably better this time around to just go ahead and stay with my dad. He was down there, you know, so obviously he's down there. We want to spend the extra time because we did, you know, go to Chevy's with them and CC's, and we were spending time, like, you know, a lot of time off camera that you guys didn't see, hanging out with family. But what we had talked about when we were getting ready to leave, because we had such a great time, is that we thought the next time we go down, we really want to stay on property. We've decided we want to do a trip where we're in the bubble, so to speak. And after our last November trip and seeing the Osborne Spectacular Lights and just being there for that little touch of Christmas, I really knew that I kind of wanted to go back around Christmas time. Not Christmas Day, because it's insane during that time of year, busy-wise. But for the Christmas party and that sort of thing. So after we got back, I kind of was like hinting around at my husband, but I wasn't expecting anything to happen super soon. And a couple days after we got back and he was back to work and everything, I get a text message and he was like, could you check these dates to see what you think about going to Disney on these dates? So my husband text messaged me about going to Disney. My work here is done. So I was really super excited, and we are looking at going back for the Christmas party. I have something booked right now. I have already booked a package. However, I'm waiting to see what the free dining dates are, because we may change our dates based on free dining, because if we can get free dining, that's huge. And that's obviously why fall's so busy, because it is a great promotion. And then you can do as many, you know, within reason, with as many table service and character dining and that sort of thing. You can really kind of maximize those, and it feels like it's free because it's free dining. So I'm very excited because the next time that we go back will be on property, and we will be in the bubble, and it works out well because the dates that we're looking at, the couple weeks that we came up with that would be good weeks for us to travel in the fall, they're weeks that my dad is generally not in Florida those weeks anyways, so it kind of works out that that would be the trip that we try staying on property. And of course, Christmas party is really the main goal. We want to do the Christmas party. Let's just be honest here. I want to do the Christmas party. It just sounds like fun. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, the decorations, the music, just everything. So I'm really immensely looking forward to this. As far as which resort we'll stay at, I mean, this will all come in a future video because it really depends on the free dining. We're trying to get our dates to where it goes into it, if possible, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So that's not going to be announced to the end of April. So even though we have something booked right now, we've already booked for fall because we're Disney addicts, but we're already booked for fall. But even though it's booked, you know, we're flexible still, we'll put it that way. So I will do videos about like future plans, I guess, in a separate video because this video was already so long. I'm sorry. The kids have come and like poked their heads around the corner like 2 times, like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting there talking? But to sum it all up in a neat little 30-second bit here at the end, probably the whole video could have been, we had a great time. It was a really great time. We liked it. There was, you know, some speed bumps along the way, but as a whole, the Disney experience was great this time. We had good service, we had good food, we had good luck with the characters. So it was really just all around great trip. It wasn't like 1,000 degrees outside, which was nice, and it was all around a pretty magical vacation this time. So let me know if you guys have any questions down below. I will do a separate video sometime in the future, like not coming up right behind this, but at some point talking about plans for when we're gonna go back later in the year. And yeah, so that's it. Until I see you in another video. I also will be talking about like some changes coming up on the channel. It's like nothing big, but just format of videos and just some things that the kids are wanting to do and stuff like that you might see coming up. So all those fun things are coming your way shortly. So thanks for watching the Disney vlogs, and if anyone's still listening to me talk right now, thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.